Are you stuck in the fake orgasm cycle? You know, where you've been faking it for so long, it feels easier to just keep faking it than to tell your partner the truth? Or where your partner finishes, rolls over, and then says, "So did you?" And you just say, "Yep," because you're too tired to explain otherwise? Or where they think that one thing gets you off, so they keep doing it, even though it actually doesn't, but you told them that it did, and now you'd have to tell them it actually doesn't. And that would start a whole thing, so you just keep going along with it, even though you don't actually like it. You're not alone. I'm Cassandra Corrado, a sex educator who works with adults to unlearn the pretty harmful stuff that we learned when we were younger. And on this episode of You Deserve Good Sex, I'm going to help you get comfortable talking about your sexual pleasure, or lack thereof. Nearly 60% of cisgender women have faked an orgasm at some point in their lives. Yep, 60%. So why are the majority of us faking it? People fake orgasms because they're not comfortable talking about sex, they don't want to hurt their partner's feelings, or they're just embarrassed. Simply put, it can feel easier to fake an orgasm than to tell our partners what actually does, and does not, make us feel good. Here in the US, we're pretty goal-oriented, and one of the big cultural goals of sex is orgasm. That mindset can sometimes make us fixate too much on achieving orgasm and not enough on the sexual experience itself. Plus, movies and porn show us scenes that always end in orgasm, so we tend to think there's something wrong with us if we aren't having them. We're also taught that needing to describe our sexual desires to our partners somehow means that they aren't good in bed. With so much baggage around orgasms and sex, it makes total sense that some of us would opt to fake it instead. But when we do, we let opportunities for real pleasure just slip right by. Prioritizing your pleasure can be hard work, but it is seriously, seriously worth it. First things first, orgasms aren't the only way to measure good sex. They're just one of the ways. So work on shifting your perspective. Instead of focusing on orgasm achievement as your primary goal for having sex, make pleasure the thing you're aiming to experience. Ask yourself what things make you feel good and present during partnered and solo sex. What helps you feel more aroused? What does sexual pleasure feel like in your body? The next thing to do is think about why you fake orgasms. Are you worried about hurting your partner's feelings? Do you not feel comfortable describing your fantasies and needs? Do you not quite know how to describe what you want? Do you maybe not even know what you want? Knowing your reason can make it easier for the next step, talking to your partner. Talking about pleasure can admittedly be a little uncomfortable, even for people who are well practiced in it. Despite the awkwardness, if you want to have really great sex, you have to talk about the things you want, the things that make you feel good, and the things that are off the table. So plan a date night to do just that. You can breathe a sigh of relief when I tell you, you don't have to tell your partner you've been faking it for however long. But if they ask up front, I recommend being transparent. Framing is key here. Try something like this. "Yeah, I have faked it before. I did it because, insert reason here, and I'd like to practice not doing that anymore. Have you ever faked it before?" If you find yourself needing to jumpstart your pleasure conversation, you can do a yes, no, maybe survey together, like those from Mojo Upgrade or We Should Try It. If you do one of those yes, no, maybe surveys, you'll probably find yourself saying, what is that? Once or twice. Which brings me to my next tip. Remember that your sexual menu is way more varied and way less shame-filled than you've been led to believe. If appetizers bring you more pleasure than the main course you usually have, it's okay to opt for apps instead. For example, only 18.4% of cisgender women can reach orgasm from vaginal penetration alone. So it's totally reasonable that penetration may not be your preferred main course. Rethinking your sexual menu can not only bring you more pleasure, it can help you feel like you're bringing more variety to your sex life too. Remember, orgasm doesn't have to be the end goal. If the sex simply feels really, really good, that's great. Measure your sexual satisfaction in the pleasure you have in the moment and you'll never need to fake an orgasm again. Thanks for watching. If you're craving more videos on sex, abortion, parenthood, and more, subscribe to Rewire News Group's channel. And if you learned something new today, share this video with a friend. They deserve good sex too.